What is going on, F1 people? It is Sherif here, back for another episode of F1 Talk. Riding solo, man. Unfortunately, Joe's voice is not back up to 100%. And please leave him comments down below wishing him well. He is reading them, he does appreciate it. And I know he really misses doing these episodes with us because we usually have a lot of fun. If you guys know us, we have a lot of laughs in these episodes. So I gotta be honest with you guys. I was really hesitant. Maybe not hesitant is the right word, but I definitely procrastinated about making this episode. And the reason why is because there's not a lot going on. And that drives me nuts about kind of the off season in Formula One. Because, I really wish we could see some things that were going on in testing, kind of like training camp for different sports, man. I think that would be amazing, and it would give us a little insight and something more to talk about. But essentially, all we have to talk about this week are some shakeups in the leadership. Ultimately, we have the Williams F1 team principal, Joss Capito. He is stepping down, and if you ask me, I think it's because he lost Latifi, and he can't live without having Latifi by his side. But in reality, we don't know. We don't know why he left. I think it's just has to do with a performance factor. Maybe he was thinking that they were going to, and the bosses at Williams were thinking that he was going to be able to pull it around more than they did. And despite Albon having some peaks, this season, really, it was not a great one for Williams. So who knows? Aside from that, Fred Vasseur is coming in. Supposedly, it hasn't been confirmed by Ferrari, but I mean, the guy bought property right nearby, but he is supposed to be coming in and taking over for Mattia Binotto. So we do have some shakeups in the realm of, the team principals. So I don't know. Are we going to see a quick turnaround from Ferrari? I mean, everybody has been warning Fred Vasseur that really, if you're a team principal for Ferrari, you don't have a long lifespan, which is pretty true, So I don't know. We'll see. But the interesting thing is he does have a previous relationship with Charles Leclerc. And maybe that's what needs to happen. Maybe, he can kind of whip the team into some sort of semblance of a proper F1 organization. Aside from that, really, there's two things that kind of popped up about Red Bull, which I find eminently interesting. One is that this guy by the name of Oliver Mintzlaff has taken over as the CEO of the Red Bull F1 team. And man, he apparently does not have a great relationship with Horner and Marco. And he is going to reduce some of their autonomy, which I think is very interesting. Very interesting. What that means, I don't entirely know, but I do know that Helmut Marko, basically said that he has fulfilled his commitment to the team vis-a-vis the CEO who passed away, and he's really working there day by day, and he can leave at any point in time. But now, if we know Helmut Marko for anything, in my opinion, it's that he is a dog with all bark and no bite. I mean, the guy really talks a good talk, but has he ever really delivered on any of the barking that he's ever done? Not in my experience. And I think we all know somebody like that, whether it be in our personal lives, it's a family member or somebody that we work with, where they're just like, oh, well, maybe I was a big dog when I was younger, and they kind of want to still be that person. So they talk a lot, they like to take the piss out of people. But the reality is, when push comes to shove, they tend to cower in the corner. And I feel that Marco is a bit like that. I think he has it too good, really, at his age to truly leave Red Bull Racing. Now, the last bit of news is really the CEO of Formula One, Stefano. Oh man, I'm gonna destroy this. Domenicali. I'm really bad at pronouncing some of these last names. Please forgive me. My name is not easy to pronounce either. You'd think I'd have a greater sensitivity to it, but I'm a stupid American and we don't get exposed to a lot of languages until much later in life, unlike our brethren in Europe. But Stefano really came out and said something interesting, which is that he doesn't believe that Red Bull's dominance of the sport is really going to continue. And I gotta say, I liked hearing that. Mostly because I hate Karen Horner. I really do. But it is what it is. His logic is pretty sound, though. Let's be honest. So his logic basically goes that the 2022, the new for 2022 regs, which were supposed to be new for 2021, but we know that they got delayed for COVID and all of this stuff. Basically, were such a shock and to a lot of the teams, and essentially Red Bull's F1 team got lucky because they had Adrian Newey and whatever, Max Verstappen, and they just happened to get the mix right. But that's not going to be something that's completely sustainable, which I do think is true. Mercedes has shown that they're no slouch, and yeah, it took them almost an entire season, but they were making serious progress by the end of the 2023 season to, bringing the fight to Red Bull and Ferrari. So, realistically, what he's saying is that, if you remember, Red Bull thought that, or Verstappen thought that their season was done after 4 races in the beginning because they had such reliability issues. And essentially, imagine if you had that experience, but just protracted for the entire season. So the reality is, the other teams will catch up. I mean, that's inevitable in F1. So really, Red Bull's dominance is not going to be like Mercedes was for the last 7 or 8 years. And we should expect that literally this next year, for there to be some really, really good title fights, which I'm really hoping for. Just because it's exciting. It really is. I don't want F1 to be wrestling. I don't want it to be something scripted or something kind of, Hollywood-esque. I live in the United States. I get enough of Hollywood every single day. I hate it. I used to live in Los Angeles, in case you guys didn't know. The Hollywood BS bullshit is just intolerable on a day-to-day basis. It really is. It looks nice, through the media and the news that gets pumped out there. But man, when you live in it, it is disgusting. And so I don't need that in my motorsports. I don't want it in my motorsports, but I do want some changes. I want it to be, different winners every year. I do want to see proper competition and something that's not predictable. So fingers crossed. Let me know down in the comments what you guys thought. hopefully this wasn't a boring episode for you guys. And, let us know down in the comments how you guys are dealing with the off season, man. It's killing me, bro. Like, I just, I need some mental stimulation in the form of vroom vroom. Peace.